Yo, what up, my people? As you can see, I have a superstar panel with me. I have my man, Igal Talks Football, one of my favorite Arsenal fans. I have my man, Dio Banter on the pitch with me. And of course, I don't know why he's hiding his goddamn face right now. The Nigerian Englishman. Where the heck are you at? Oh, by the way.
The question is the Nigerian Englishman was he rooting for England?
That's true. That's a very good question. Kule, I be Nigerian Englishman. Were you rooting for England? Or I wanted England to go out.
Really?
I don't want to see Rice and Saka playing too many games. They need to go and rest, please. I have no business with England.
Well, once they got to the final, didn't you want them to win?
Who, me? I've never supported England in my life, bro. What? What?
Yeah, I want to Spain, Sha. I want to Spain too.
Oh, baby, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the chat. Nice to have you.
Is she an Arsenal fan also?
She's a Manchester United fan.
United fan. Okay. We don't like United fans in here. But you're welcome. You're welcome.
You have to endure. You have to endure for today.
Today you're going to be talking to an animation. It is a cartoon that you shall be speaking to throughout today.
Okay.
That is crazy. But anyways, Manchester United, congratulations on losing to Rosenborg. I guess nothing has changed.
No. We know that. No, we didn't.
We can't make fun of them for losing a preseason game.
These people can make fun of us if we lost that game. What? United fans? Well, I don't really care right now.
I'm covering my face. When I saw that, I'm like, no. This is bringing back much banters to us.
But Igal, you have to realize that they had about 3 or 4 senior players on that. They had about 3 or 4. You guys had 3 or 4 senior players on your roster that played today.
Like Mason
Mount. Did they concede the goal?
You had Rashford at the 90th minute. They had Rashford. They had Mason Mount. They had some senior players. They had a Wan-Bissaka there. It's like my thing is you can't have senior players at preseason playing a team like that and lose in the 90th minute. It just if these guys are not, and it's not like you're trying to sell Wan-Bissaka right now or you're trying to sell Rashford right now. It's not like they're out on the market like you guys are saying, oh, we're ready to sell them. You literally are going to have these guys playing for you. And if they're already doing this at preseason, I know you can't really judge from one game, but I didn't see anything that because I went to look for the clips, and from what I saw, like all the random clips I did see, there was no drive, and that's the thing for me. It's like they just played it like, how boys, let's just play secondary school and let's just pick it, And for me, that's not a good look. Knowing where they came from last season, knowing what happened last season, there should be some level of hunger, like in the players' eyes. But yeah, I guess it is what it is, man. If you guys don't do well this season, it's better for me. I don't care. I'd rather everybody.
Yes, I have hope. I have hope. It's just the preseason, so they're not taking it seriously. I'm very sure that when we have our lineups, ready for next season, you guys will see. Fingers crossed.
Let me ask you a simple question.
My friend, we are not seeing anything, baby. We are not seeing anything. Our eyes are closed when it comes to money. We're not seeing anything. What do you mean?
Right now, speak for Arsenal, please. Speak for yourself.
I didn't mention Arsenal. I'm talking about Man U. We're not seeing anything yet. But big up.
1 second.
Hold on.
Commiserations. You're Englishman, right?
Commiserations for what, bro? I'm Nigerian. I'm Nigerian, bro.
You don't root for England.
I don't rep England, bro. I don't rep England. People think because it's half of my name, I have to rep them. I understand it. I get it. But after the Euros, the last Euros, let me
back you up. Let me back you up here. His name says Niger. His name says Niger Englishman. Niger comes first. You understand? Like if you want to even just shorten the name, just say Niger. Is that me?
That's Canadian. I think. Or is that baby?
No, that's not me. What? Yeah.
I don't know who that is. Yeah.
Yeah, the name says Niger.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. All I know is Manchester United, they can buy as many Dutch players as they want. They're not bridging the gap that easily. There's a lot of work that needs to be done.
As regards to these Dutch players that they're buying, I think I want to be objective about Man U here. I'm honestly going to be objective. I'm not going to try and banter them or anything. I think they're rebuilding. I think that the players that they're getting are not the best players in that position. But what Man U is trying to do is all right, for budget's sake, we can get these type of players in this position within our budget. They're also Dutch. The manager is Dutch. It'll be easy for them to be able to kind of like, let's build something first. At least let's build the foundational team, right? After this season, let's see what we can then do by next season to then up it. If we get into the top 5, top 6 or whatever, if we make it to the Euros or something, we can then attract better players in that position and probably maybe even have, kind of built up the skill set of the ones that they bought now. But these players you're buying, there's no difference between Højlund and Zirkzee to me. There's no difference. I don't see a difference in skill sets. Like there's no, it's like if you got Ivan Toney, then I'd be like, okay, well, good. Ivan Toney and Højlund as strikers.
But Dio, you know what it is? Yeah?
So
Dio, it completely depends like what Man U are trying to achieve this season. If Man U are trying to get back into the top 4, buying a Zirkzee. I know if they're trying to get into the top 4, buying a Zirkzee don't really make sense in it, because unless something crazy like Højlund, like he was having his breakthrough season comes this year rather than last year, then it could be a little bit different. But maybe he needed a year to warm up. Maybe that was the situation with Højlund. Who knows? But unless that happens, with Zirkzee and Højlund as their 2 target men, it's not going to work. But if their goal is just to have a style of play, stay in the top 6, that sort of shit, then yeah, like Zirkzee makes sense, innit? Like have some fun, some young players, like give them some confidence, ETH at the wheel and all that. Do you get what I'm saying? That could work, but it just depends what Man U's plan is.
Also, if you look at their coaching crew, I mean, like it's almost like they're really trying to build this whole Dutch thing.
The Dutch core.
It's a core of like Ruud van Nistelrooy is coming back. There's another coach who I think they have on the roster who's also Dutch. It's like I don't see anything wrong with that. I think
on the low, it's a succession.
Hey, what's up, man? Halftime hooks, man.
It's a succession plan. In the case that Ten Hag doesn't work out, they got the backups behind the scenes ready to take over.
I get that, Igal. I mean, I don't even want to try and think of the conspiracy of whether they're bringing Van Nistelrooy as a backup. I'm not going to do all of that. I'm just going to say, like, I think that what United are doing right now is a total rebuild from the very scratch. And they're like, look, let's just build a core of people who know themselves already. Let's build that base. But we're not going to challenge for anything. We're going to rebuild the culture of the club. There was something that Arteta said today. I saw an interview that he did. And when they asked him about, like, what was it that, how did you feel last season? He says, we've been building a lot of things, not just in the men's team, in the women's team, in the academy, the mentality across the entire club, the backroom staff, that everybody needs to think like they know and they believe that we are going to win. This is not about just the men's team. This is about the entire club. So I think United are really trying to actually start at that base level, build a batch of players that people can believe in. Oh, they're good. We know they're not going to win everything, but they're not going to disgrace us. They're going to play well. Then let's fix everything else behind it, and then let's see where they go from there. I'm being objective about it because I think that if my team was doing this, I would like to be objective about what they're doing instead of just bantering them and saying, he's a Dutch guy, he's a Dutch coach, he's a Dutch. Because I think that Erik ten Hag, as a coach, standalone coach, not a manager, I think he's good because I've seen him at Ajax. I've seen what he did at it. So I think as a coach, standalone, with the right core of people around him, and not his own personal yes men team that he brought. Because he brought his assistant coach and everybody, they're all yes men to him. All those guys that have been removed, they're giving you people that, hey, it's like when you get a job, you end up working with people that were hired by the HR, not your friends. You don't bring friends to the job.
Wait, one sec. Maybe like your sound, I think maybe come out of the stream and then come back in. I don't know what's wrong with the mic, so maybe come out and then come back in and try it again, just to check. Because when you're off mute, it's cracking. Yeah, it's making a cracking sound. Maybe come out of the stream and then come back in.
What did you say?
I say come out of the stream and restart.
Your connection is behaving like Manchester United. Your connection is behaving like Manchester United. That's the problem.
Wow.
That happens. When you're streaming on your phone, it's quite common. But I'm just going to say this. I like one thing Manchester United are doing. Enough about all the banter. Good thing for them, they're sorting out the issues behind the scenes. Because the number one thing to breed success on the pitch is to start to fix some of the things you need to fix off the pitch. For example, bring in a new CEO, bring in a new scouting department, bring in new people to run the ship behind the scenes, bring in people to make new contracts, bring in new doctors, kitchen staff, just sorting out the stadium for God's sakes, bring in new equipment for God's sakes, because Ronaldo was saying they still have the same dumbbells from '94. They needed to do a lot of work over there. So banter aside, they are finally starting to do that. And if Manchester United are going to be on the right track, it looks like the new ownership are somebody who could potentially get them in the right track.
You go.
Is it going to be instant success?
1994 dumbbells were built like Volvo 240. They are very strong. They last forever. So there's nothing wrong with them still having those dumbbells there. Just let them have it.
No, but
let them have the old stuff. I don't know how you get. Let's not make them feel good anymore.
Wait, all jokes aside, yeah. Do you think? Look, big up on the ball, Chips. I've not seen you on the streams for a while. Big up, bro. Man U fan. He says there was a time Arsenal was built on the French. Is it that Man U are now built on they're trying to build on a solid Dutch core, Dutch manager, Dutch players, Dutch total football philosophy? Could this be the revolution that Man U? Could Ten Hag be onto something? Now he's got the right support behind him. He's not really as actively involved in the transfers, I'm hearing, because his talent idea clearly isn't what it needs to be. But is this a new revolution that we should be scared of at Man United? Or is it, let's just see what happens, man, because no one really knows.
It's not to be scared. Like I said, I think it's a good base to start. Like, honestly, I'm not even bantering them. I think this is a good base for them to start on. If your coach, just like he said, there was a time Arsenal was called the French Connection, and it's the truth. There was a time we were called the French Connection. We had a French coach who understood our French. There's one thing about bringing. Who thought Thierry Henry was going to be as good as he was when we brought him? Nobody.
I didn't.
Yeah, nobody thought that. I think sometimes a coach who can connect to a player, if they speak the same language, they understand the culture, they understand themselves. You can bring out the best in that player. I think that is it. I believe that strongly. I believe, like, if you come from the same place, because I'll tell you something that Denzel Washington said. They interviewed him and they asked him, why is it that you chose a black director to make your movie about black people? And he said, it is not about the skin color, it's about the culture. He said, for example, Goodfellas was directed by an Italian director. Any director could have directed it, but a black person knows what it means, right? To put a pot on stove, hot plates. We are the ones that we know what Better Pass My Neighbor sounds like. So if we tell a white guy to direct that, he's not going to get, not because he's not good at it, but because there's some cultural things. So I think them having a core of good Dutch players who have talent, and Erik ten Hag, who's actually a good coach, I think them having that core over time is going to pay off for them. I think it will pay off for them. If not, if Erik ten Hag was such a terrible coach, I don't think, for me, I don't think that will work out, because he'll just waste the talent. But I think that is something that is I believe in that stuff. Like, if you have an English coach and you have English players, they'll probably thrive better under an English coach than they would under, Pep is an anomaly when it comes to coaches and being able to get the best out of all kinds of players. All the players that Pep has coached, he's found a way to get the best out of all of them. He's an anomaly. He's not the norm, So look at Arteta. Arteta keeps going for Spanish players. Goalkeeper Raya. He's going for Merino. He's like, there's a reason he goes for some core positions where he wants people that he can say something to them in Spanish and they understand. When you insult them and you turn it out,
But 1 second, the Man U fan, you're here, baby. We can hear you. It's not cracking.
Okay,
so talk to us about this Dutch revolution at Manchester United.
For me,
should we trust the process?
I see like a bright future with the new signings, and to other rival fans, they'll have like different things to say about our new signings. Oh, they're not competent or whatever. But for me, I know that we're trying to replace have more subs. So if one person, like our former players, if they're not doing well, the new guys would come and take on from there. So we'll just know who is best to be like in our starting 11, because we don't have a balanced starting 11 like from last season. So we're trying to replace, like, for De Ligt, from what I checked, the deal is already done for De Ligt, and he's going to be like the perfect replacement for Varane. So I'm really happy for
perfect replacement, baby. What are you saying here? Perfect. Explain perfect replacement. How is he a perfect replacement for Varane? World Cup winner, Champions League winner. What do you mean?
Why not? Because look at the stats for the Ligt. He has like almost same qualities as Varane. He's a scorer. He has like progressive defensive skills, like what we want. We need somebody that can actually do similar thing to what Varane, or even better. And I see him as, even for Varane, he had the weaknesses of Varane are his strengths. So I would say that he's a perfect fit replacement for Varane. And Varane, Alessandro on the side, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I feel like our back four would be strengthened. Kind of, yeah. It would be strengthened. Yes. Yes, we need to get a striker as well. Somebody we can.
You just bought a striker now. What do you mean? You've got a striker, Zirkzee.
No, we have.
You just bought Zirkzee.
You need to buy a striker.
Yes.
Well, I saw Man you want to buy. I thought Man you want to get Antony.
Zirkzee is a 9.5. He's not a striker.
I know, but can I say this as well? I think
Zirkzee is a 9.5.
I still think you need one more striker, and I agree. I agree with you, because last season, if you look at your bench, the only person you had that was a 9, outright 9, was Anthony Martial. That was the only person in Manchester that was, and that's what I'm saying. That was the only 9, outright 9 that they had. And when he was injured, they didn't have an outright 9. You'd have to play Rashford there. Rashford does not like that position. We all know he likes playing on the left. Of course, you guys need at least 3 strikers. But like I said, Højlund and Zirkzee, I don't see the difference in skill sets as regards to the levels that they're playing at. Now, they may have different profiles and play in different ways, but I'm saying as regards to what they bring to the team, both of them probably would give you a 10, 12 GA this season if they could, between both of them, right? So my thing is, you need a more experienced striker like an Ivan Toney to be that lead striker that they can play off, and they can pick up on after a season or two. Tony's 28, 29. He does one more season. He's reaching his max peak at the least, and by then these guys are picking up. So you do need to get an extra striker, because if Højlund gets injured, you can't depend on Zirkzee throughout the season. Zirkzee gets.
I'm just going to say this though quickly before we go any further. 1 second before we go any further. When we started the stream, I said, "Who really cares about preseason?" But then I forgot. Ten Hag cares about preseason. Last year, when he played Arsenal in America and he beat us, he said, "We don't play friendly games." Now you're out here losing to who?
Rosenborg
sounds like a bread, like a brand of bread.
I remember Martinez and Varane.
No, I wouldn't.
I remember Martinez, Varane, Bruno, Kobe Manu. They all got gas because they beat us in a preseason friendly. When they came to our house, what happened?
When we went to their house, what happened? Same shit, different days. You get me? Same shit, different days.
We're coming for revenge. You guys
no. See, look, Gbemi, don't do that. Gbemi, don't
win preseason trophy again.
Gbemi, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't set yourself up. Don't use the word revenge. Don't use the word you are coming.
Don't
stay out of this, man.
All you really need to say, Gbemi, nobody's dissing Man U. Nobody's dissing. All you have to say is, we are going to trust the process. Like you guys
don't write checks you can't cash. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, because when you say you're coming for revenge, ask Chelsea what happened when they said they're coming for revenge. Ask them what happened.
We're not Chelsea.
In fact, the big six.
I know you know. Chelsea finished above you, bro. Chelsea finished above you.
In fact, ask the top 6 last season, the big 6, the so-called big 6, which of them were able to do anything to us? None. We didn't lose to none of you.
Hey guys, just to bring up this statement here, and Erik ten Hag most likely trained him during his youth days. Is that supposed to be like a positive thing? I'm just asking.
I don't
know. Yeah, because he was a Bayern Munich. He's from Bayern. He's right though. He's from Bayern Munich's academy, Zirkzee or whatever his name is. Sounds like that thing.
Yeah, you know.
He's from.
But why does that matter?
It does, because you may have seen something.
They might have already established a relationship, I guess.
Yeah, and as a youth, maybe there was some things he was doing, and because he left that academy and went to they played him in a different style, maybe at the false 9 or whatever, and he remembers like, look, I played this kid in this role and he was good at it. I can actually get that to come out of him again. Sometimes you spot certain genius things in people. And you never know.
I'm sure Gbemi's very excited.
Can I say something?
Can I say something? Van Nistelrooy as their striker coach. to work.
Can I say something?
What are you saying, Kenobi?
Manchester United don't need children right now. All these children they are buying, all these children, all these Power Rangers they are buying, Mickey Mouse Club footballers that they are buying. They don't need all these children. No. The Ligt that was meant to be the next Ronald Koeman is now 45 million. Can you imagine? From Juventus to Bayern Munich to Manchester United. I don't understand, Cha. I don't understand. To me, to be honest, as far as I'm concerned, they need a lot of experience. They need players that have done it before to get them to a level where they need to be. They don't need children right now. Children can't save Manchester United.
Yeah, but sadly, they can't go that route right now because of the new deal that they did. They have new management. Somebody just invested close to 1.something billion to take over management. I'm not going to go there. And as a businessman, you have to remember there's a business side to this thing, my brother. They have to make their money back. So it's better you can't bring the big names and the experienced guys. You must pay them the wages. And those wages are not going to be beans. It's not.
But if you make the Champions League, it all makes sense. I know,
but the question is, let's say they buy top 11 players and their average salary is 300k a week. But 300k a week times 22 players. That salary, I beg. I'm even choking just calculating the math in my head. I'm already about to pass out. Like by the time you do that math, I'm talking what 3-4 because these guys will take 3-4 year contracts. These so-called top players who are in their pump. So I think that what they are trying to do, which is rebuild from the scratch, let's give them that. We did it now. People laughed at us, but look at us now. At least now we are in the conversations of, next season Arsenal will be there. Arsenal when we were struggling, coming 8th and winning FA Cup, they were yabbing us too. So they've also gone through the same process. They came 8th, they won FA Cup. Let them start their own process, just like we started with Arteta in 2018. Came 8th, won FA Cup. You two, you have come 8th now, you have won FA Cup. Your process has begun. For the next 4 years, you're not winning anything. Just follow our footsteps. When we start winning, you start to win, Man U. Okay? Yes, just follow the leader.
But you see, the problem is, I don't think ETH is as good as a manager as Arteta. Yes, he's won a couple trophies. I admire he's good for that. But in terms of the modern style, having an identity, having a group of creating a team, Arteta is better than that. Better at him at that. So that's why I don't know, man. I think Man U should have sacked him. Personally because he has no business being in that football club right now. Left for me, they're just going to waste money again. Go through the same process. They need senior players. Zirkzee he's a good potential player, but are they going to give him time to develop? Man, you need to start.
That's the thing. Man United before never developed their players. Now that they have former Man United legend, what's his name? Ruud van Nistelrooy. Ruud van Nistelrooy being there, maybe they now have more people who can develop players into what they need. It's just a thought.
Yeah, but also we have to be right. See, I hear you right when you say they need to buy. So, and I think we're looking at Manchester United from the view of the Manchester United that we remembered. This is not the Man U of old that we know. This Man U needs to start afresh. It's the same way Arsenal towards the tail end of Arsene Wenger's time. We just took a dip to the point where we had players that we were paying Champions League wages to, and we weren't even qualifying for Europa. Like that's where we were. And if you look at Man U, they're literally somehow in the same shoes. They're paying some of their players 250, 300, Martial and all these guys, and they're not getting them into places where they can actually make them. So as a business, they're not thriving, which is not good for them. As a footballing team, they look bad, which is not good for them. So I think bringing in a bunch of young players with a few sprinkled experienced players in there, you can buy yourself time a season or two. And to your point of Erik ten Hag may not be tactically as inept as Arteta, is left to be seen because now they've changed the whole structure around him. It's no longer he's the manager; he's now just the head coach. They now have people around him that will. Because Arteta made a statement in the interview that I watched this morning. He said, "Me, the team, and the analysts are all looking at the data, and we're going to look at what we need to fix those fine margins." And now Erik ten Hag has been given those type of analysts too. So they'll be looking at data and looking at what they need to do. I mean, let's give them the benefit of the doubt that they're going to be running the club properly. The people they hired are footballing people. So I think that in the next season or two, Man U will come correct. But Man U fans should not start making noise now and start saying, hey, they're going to do this. But I think this Man U team that they're building is good enough to get them out of the mud, and then they will need to upgrade. Because no massive player right now wants to come to Man U today and be like, I'm just going to go play for Man U. Like, where they're at. So they need to get out of that mud.
The elite is going there now. He's meant to be a massive player.
The elite is I rate him because, let's be honest, there's a player in there. There's a player in there. It might be at Man U that he will come and shine. We've seen these kind of things happen. But
bro,
yeah.
Hey, sorry, see your guy, bro. What's he got in there, bro? Who was that Bayern last season, Mr.
Who was that Bayern last year? Who, Zirkzee?
Yeah, bro, he was.
You know what? He was at Bologna. He played all season.
No, he played for Bayern
the season before last season. He played at Bayern.
Yeah, he's a Bayern Munich. I said he's from Bayern Munich's academy.
Yeah.
He's a Bayern Munich reject.
Yeah, but he's from. He played last season in Bologna.
Come on, Varner. We know who's
Varner, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm just being objective. I'm not trying to banter United. That's why I'm being objective. If you want me to banter, I can start to insult them. But me, I don't have bad mouth. Let me just tell you, they know. Those of them that have encountered it know.
Okay, man, that's to go all the way back to.
Yeah, I've outgrown Manchester United.
You're not even embarrassed. You're not even embarrassed. 92.
I've outgrown Manchester United, to be honest.
That's why they did not. That's why they haven't changed their dumbbells from 1992 too, because that's the reason they still have 92 dumbbells.
Well, you not saying 10 Hag better than Arteta, yeah?
I mean, if you look at the context of it, I would say no, Varner, and I'll tell you why. Arteta, as a senior coach, this will be his 5th year, officially his 5th year. Go look at the record books. Ten Hag has been a coach for how long? And if you count the amount of things that they have achieved at the clubs that they've been at, Ten Hag may have won trophies in certain tournaments, and knockout tournaments are not evident of what you do in the league. In the league, he hasn't been the super best, So if you weigh percentage-wise what Arteta has achieved with his FA Cup and whatever else he has won that people don't rate in those 5 years to what Ten Hag has won in his 15 odd years together, Arteta had a higher percentage rate. So I don't agree with that.
Maybe you're quiet there. You're not defending your boys now. How fun? You don't believe?
Please, we need to move on from Man U, please. I'm tired of talking about mid-table clubs. I'm tired. You do this all the time. You make me talk about mid-table clubs for 30 minutes. I can't be doing this guy. Please. I'm thinking about Man City.
Reality is they're the ones making noise right now. You get me? They're the ones making noise. We're not really doing a lot of business.
Did you guys kick her out, or did she leave again?
No. I think her screen froze, isn't it? And we passed the Man U segment, so it never matters. Big up, never a foul. Big up, never a foul in the chat.
Big up for the raid.
Kaz, my guy.
Kaz beats.
So what we talking Arsenal, mate? Mikel Merino. Look. Igal, I remember me and you talking about this guy maybe 2-3 weeks ago on your channel, and I said an underwhelming signing. And for me, like, I've not seen enough of him to get me excited that that's the level raiser. I see what people are saying, talking about the similarities between him and Granit Xhaka and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, for me, he's not the level raiser for me. I don't know, Igal, I don't know.
I want he's
not going to get a chance to say something.
Go on, Igal, go on, shoot.
Okay, simply put, you started off in a bad set. You need to rein it back a little bit. Don't think about it from the perspective of level raiser. Think about it from the perspective of we're shifting the way that we do our business. We were going for young, up-and-coming players to get us to a timeline where all of our players start growing together and we no longer have to look at signing older players. Now we're at a stage where we're signing more experienced players, so they're easier to embed into the team. They have the experience and the know-how to play in different scenarios. And if we do bring in Mikel Merino, he comes in as a 28-year-old who will be able to acclimatize to the situation quite quickly. He's previously played in the Premier League with Newcastle. You've seen him in the Euros be able to do it. He's 6'2". He's not no short little guy that's gonna be thrown around like people expect. Once again, I'm not done. And when you say Granit Xhaka replacement, what are we missing? A left-footed midfielder who can play as a left 8 and can also play as a defensive midfielder, has the passing range
But
to help a Declan Rice to bring more balance to midfield, and has
but can he really do the left? Can he really play the left 8?
Yeah, he
has
can.
Previously,
So
one second, finally,
he's
and had previously played with Martin Odegaard at Real Sociedad. So all of this,
I want to. I wanted to address
smash
that. You know,
the like button, my
no.
people. Smash the like button.
You know he's
never.
paired. Kule, you know he's paired in the midfield with Zubimendi that we were going for before. Zubimendi has a 6 and he was the 8.
I would prefer Zubimendi over him
that's
personally.
the problem, yeah, but Zubimendi is a 6 though. So here's the thing that you need to realize: he made Zubimendi look really good. You know, to be honest, I wanted Zubimendi too. Merino, I didn't really watch him per se until I was watching Zubimendi, and I was like, this guy here is the guy who's making Zubimendi tick. Like literally, he covers ground so much as a left 8 that Zubimendi, whenever Zubimendi pushes forward, he still covers ground as a 6. It's ridiculous. Like I watched about 5 different games, and I was like, you know what? There's something in here. And now, will I say he's the one that will change or be a level raiser? No. Here's what I will say. We should stop thinking about Arsenal as we want to get the big superstar names because that's what's going to get us over the hump. No, it's the fine margins we need to look at. Last season, a draw with Aston Villa won us the league. Last season, a draw with Aston Villa. Maybe resting Gabriel in that game and putting in a Califiori, if we had one last season, got us a draw. Right? Maybe resting a midfield player or removing a Kai Havertz and dropping in a Mikel Merino, who's a lot more defensive, and we say don't go forward, got us that tie, and we still win the league. A lot of times people are saying if we had just won the game.
Okay, so wait.
Here's my thing. I'm saying the fine margins, right? In squad depth, if we look at the squad depth of Arsenal, Arteta trusted maybe 13, 14 players throughout the whole season. The rest of them, he did not trust to play them. He did not. For you to have 3 senior team players who played under 700 minutes, that's less than 15% of the entire league season, then you don't need them on your team. No player should be playing less than that if you are in the 22-man squad of the first team throughout the season. With 4 tournaments, we're talking FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Champions League, and Premiership. You should never have that. So my thing is, if we're going to get players like this, it is to fill those gaps, right? Like, you are confident if you have Califiori filling in for Gabriel. If Gabriel is injured, you are confident you have Califiori playing left wing. You are confident if you have Tomiyasu playing right wing. You are confident if Ben White is injured that what's his name, Timber can go to right wing. Like this is what. So the same thing in midfield. So the same thing in midfield. The same thing in
terms of Merino, right? Merino, like, what is it you're expecting him to bring? Is he gonna be the 6 and Rice the 8, or Rice the 6 and him the 8?
That's what I'm saying.
Hold on. Because what I've seen a lot of him, he looks more comfortable in the defensive midfield type of role rather than offensively.
But when he played in Real Sociedad, that's what I'm telling you. That at Real, when he plays the Zubimendi plays the 6. He plays the 8, and he plays the 8 well. And he can also play as a 6, which is why I said, have you ever seen Arteta buy a player who can play just one role? No. Arteta likes players who can play multiple roles. So definitely there's going to be some shuttling. Another thing you need to realize is Declan can cover ground as well. That guy's got engine in him. He's got an engine in him. He can cover ground. You've seen him make runs from the other end. They're coming to make a tackle. Now, if you have 2 players like that who can cover for each other, can both play 8 and 6, can rotate. If for example, Merino is not making any headway, Declan can go back to that 8. Merino can drop to the 6 because he can also play the 6. You can give that instruction in game management. Perfect. Sometimes you might not even need to sub a player. You might just need to swap their roles because they can play both roles very well. So my thing is, if Arteta can get the best out of someone like a what's his name, Kai Havertz, and I've seen what Merino plays like, I think he can get something out of Merino too. I just trust that we're getting pieces that will fill the gaps, those little gaps. And not just
I hear it. Look, I know you're a big fan of La Liga, and you were talking, and like me, we're talking about buying some level raisers. I mean, we talked about Spanish players like Nico Williams that's lit up the Euros, but Merino, is he the type of player Arsenal need? Is he one of the pieces to the puzzle that could really take us to the next level?
Funny enough, I actually rate Mikel Merino. I actually rate him a lot. He's a very good, underrated Spanish midfielder. He's tall, he passes the ball well, and he's kind of like Saka. But my only issue with him is that he's 28. That's my only problem. And
is that an issue? We don't have a lot of experience. I'm not saying I want him.
Yeah, but I would have liked somebody a bit younger. Somebody who is a bit more.
Pause.
But why does it matter?
Youngers.
Why you say pause for? You just got beat by Rosenberg. Pause.
Hold on. You just said you like someone a bit younger. I'm thinking, what do you mean younger? Like, what are you doing here?
He's talking about players.
Oh my goodness.
What did I walk into?
Cass is a madman.
Cass is like, what in the world is going on here?
Yeah.
I don't think 28. We need to realize 28 is the age Ian Wright joined Arsenal. 28 is the age that Santi Cazorla joined Arsenal.
Are you talking about Merino?
28 is not old.
Yeah, but this is what I mean about football these days. Yeah, everyone thinks that 28 is a bad age. I'm thinking, bro, if he costs 27 million, and he's 28 years old, that's a no-brainer. The guy's on peanuts.
Leandro Trossard as well. When we got him, he was 27.
Jorginho came for 30, and he was like 30-something.
You can't always. You know what it is? You got to stop doing what Jordan Henderson Liverpool used to do. Stop grooming, man, bruv. You got to, if they're young, who cares if they're young? You can build off that in the next 3-4 years when the profile comes.
What are you grooming, my G? Pause. What the fuck are you grooming?
Now we're going too far.
You're trying to groom Jude Bellingham to go crazy. Come on, man. Yeah. Tempt him with Nando's and that. But yeah.
I think 28.
Can it be? Look. My issue with Merino is not necessarily nothing to do with his age. Nothing to do with his age. I think he's a decent player, but I just don't know in terms of in the attacking third. I don't think he's comfortable enough in the attacking position. So are we just now then saying that Rice?
Did you not see the goal he scored against France? The extra, the goal, Merino.
The header.
Yeah. He's a head too.
A header, bro. Is that what we do?
No. But
is that what we do? We're getting excited about headers. Like,
you just
in today's football. Big up headers.
Hold on. Let's analyze this thing properly. You're saying in the attacking third, in the final third, you're more worried about the goals, right? Is that what you're saying? Like, how many? What's he bringing?
No, but I just. My understanding of the player that we needed was a box-to-box midfielder. That's what I wanted, and I don't think he's that.
I know, but
I'm not encouraged enough in the going forward part of him as a player. I'm not saying he's not good.
Let me say this. Let me say this, right? If you're talking about the going forward side of things, let's look at last season again. Arsenal scored 91 goals in the league and 120 in all competitions last season. Scoring was not our problem. It was taking our chances and finishing them, being more clinical in the box. Now, Mikel Merino,
and also having more help in our midfield would help too.
Yeah, but I'm saying like Mikel Merino's statistics, even at Real Sociedad for his attempts on goal and scoring is really high. For the amount of times that it's like Granit Xhaka, who gave us 8 GA the season before he left. I think he scored 8. He only contributed 8 GA, but what the other things that he contributed defensively off the ball, being able to throw passes in, crashing the box, scoring those, taking shots from the outside. If this is what he brings back to the team, then great. Another thing you have to remember is that Arsenal as a team has evolved every season. Arteta has tried a new style of play every season because of the pieces that he's bringing in. We don't know what style he's about to implement. And the same way when he brought Kai Havertz and we all talked down on it, we saw the outcome at the end of the season.
Let's be honest with Merino. He's not coming. He's not going to be the guy that comes in and scores you goals, bro. He might chip him with a goal too.
That's what I'm saying.
The whole point is upgrading what you've got. Jorginho's old, legs are gone. But how about maybe a midfielder that can dictate play the way he needs to, likes a battle, but can also cover Declan Rice if he needs to, because it's kind of the same-ish kind of profile. Not too tough, I wouldn't say, because I think Declan Rice is a better ball carrier. But if someone needs to come into the 6, that shores it up because they got enough legs. That means you don't always need to play with inverted fullback.
Also,
it gives you option. Left foot. It gives you option. The option is good. The thing is, you could probably get another midfielder. Look, Emil Smith-Rowe pays for that transfer, so that's already sorted. Not even out your budget. It's done, and it's pure profit, so it's done. Merino's a great option, and the fact is, the issue is we have these days. too many of us and too many teams are trying to turn number 8 into number 6s and hopefully have a hybrid because there's no such thing as the perfect 6 at this moment of time, Malai. Even look at United. We're looking at Ugarte. Ugarte's a 6. He's not the perfect 6. He's just a bull terrier nabbing at your ankles and trying to win the ball back as quick as possible like Fred used to do. So Merino's a good option to have right now because there's no the perfect name for it because I don't like Declan Rice in a 6. Personally, I think I prefer him in I like him in an 8. He contributes a lot in the 8 because he wins the ball high and gives it to your forward line as quick as possible, or Ødegaard, right? I think in a 6, you look at Jorginho. That's why the combination is what it is. But Rodri's an anomaly. Let's not do that trigger, bro. Rodri's a whole anomaly. He never started off as a 6. He started off as an 8. But let's be real. Marino started off as an 8, but he can do 6 easy. Yeah, exactly. I just think Arsenal got a long way to go in terms of
I don't know why people keep,
options, but
people to keep calling Rodri like they don't know that Rodri is an alien, right?
He's an alien, bro.
Yeah, you come here and pretend like you did not know that they brought Rodri and they manufactured him in the lab and they injected
Rodri
together.
Needs to get injured for 2 years. I'm praying every day Rodri should get injured for 2 years. 2 years, please. You should leave football alone. What the fuck, man?
There are some players.
A beast.
There are some players that you just. I don't wish him bad. I don't want him injured. But honestly, I'll be relieved.
Please,
never say him.
Do you remember last season? Hold on. Do you remember last season when he got a red card for choking somebody else?
He's not going to die. Just
no.
injury.
Hold on. Remember when he choked someone out and got a red card?
In Nottingham Forest.
In those 3 games, I was just relieved. When I did see him on the pitch, I was relieved. For whatever team they were playing, I was like, you guys do not know how good you have it.
I think the only thing you're lacking, though. I think the only thing you're lacking, though.
Go on. Forget about Rodri for a second. I need someone on my team where people get relieved when they don't see him. Who's that?
Dude, we have a lot of people. Saliba.
Is it Merino? Is it Merino, man?
No.
It has to be Saliba.
Oh, yeah, Saliba.
Marino's strong, you know. Marino's strong, you know.
Once Saliba is not on the pitch, most Arsenal fans, in fact, other teams are relieved because they think they can get at us. They think they can get Gabriel to fumble now. They feel like they can get at him, like if they really push. But when Saliba is on the pitch, there's more calm in our defense. Gabriel is still a beast, but they pair well together. So when I think Saliba is that player for Arsenal that when he's out of the game, when he's not playing, other teams feel like they have a better chance. Odegaard as well. I think Odegaard.
I'm looking at this Arsenal team. I'm just simply saying, do we really need to go sign another young midfielder? Age shouldn't be a problem, guys. We already have a lot of youth in our squad. Our average age is probably one of the youngest average ages in the league, and for the quality.
Can you address this comment? Can you address this comment on the lines of what you're saying?
Instead of getting a jack of all trades, you should buy a master craft.
Masters of their craft if you want to win the league. I agree on that part.
I don't agree 100%, and I'll tell you why. Let it go.
What do you mean by that? Master the craft.
So let's just say
it's one specific specialized position, right?
But then when we do that, you guys criticize them for not being able to do certain things, like Jorginho.
Maybe, but I'm looking at it like this though. The one thing that
you're one of the biggest Jorginho critics, Kunle. So
you lot lack though. I think the only thing that you lot lack in Arsenal right now, that midfielder that can just get you a damn goal or 5. Out of nothing, a game changer like Cabarella will shoot and you just see that. You just see top bins. Like one of those.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing you're kind of missing at that moment of time, isn't it?
But we're missing that. But also, what if because this is what I keep saying. Everybody originally before the transfer started, Arsenal need a striker. And I'm like, we scored 91 goals last season. What do you mean we need a striker? The scoring wasn't the problem. The problem we had was when we look at the bench and we need somebody who's either like for like. So, for example, let's say Havertz is not playing well first half. He's just not playing well. Whoever we're going to bring on should either be just as good or better, or is hungry enough to take over Kai's role. Like if I get a chance, Kai is going to be on the bench. I
don't think you have enough clutch man in your. I don't think you have enough clutch in your squad though. Because when it doesn't go right, for Arsenal, can you agree though? Yeah, the thing is, when it doesn't go right for Arsenal in certain games where the low block is like, oh shit, how are we breaking this one down? You're looking at long range shots. You see Declan Rice go for long range shots. The difference why Man City was so potent, but not the year before last, is because the Gundogan was so potent. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of them in the world because I can't even tell you. I think because one just signed a new contract, it's like, okay, who is it then? The thing is that's when sometimes you need 2 kind of goal scoring midfielders, in my opinion, and that's where Canary probably saw, but look at what Merino did. You know, the late runs into the box. It could be one of them as an option. You know what I mean? So maybe is the guy. You don't know what Arteta can do.
Different
Spanish
profiles.
connection, profile,
Different profile on your bench. Like if you're playing a team where you can't get a goal through Leandro Trossard, for example, and you're like, all right, you know what, Trossard out, Merino go in, crash the box, you move here, you move there, because now your in-game management changes. When you to answer that question of the person that says masters of their craft, I feel like if you buy a player who just knows how to play one particular position, when that player is in, first and foremost, that player ties your hand as the manager to your in-game planning. If you need to tweak players around and move, you can't move him because that's the only role he can play. Look at Bukayo Saka in England. Great right winger. When the left side was broken down, they needed somebody. He could play left back. He could play left wing back, and he held his own. When you have players that literally are that dynamic in your team, for example, Bukayo, maybe he's playing right wing and they're pocketing him. You can be like, hey, you know what? Bring in Palmer, Bukayo, go left wing back. Now let's see you kill this other defender here. That's like you saw that with Spain against England. When Lamine Yamal was not getting any luck, guess who went there? Nico Williams moved to the right. They swapped positions at a point in the game because Luke Shaw was killing him. And that's the point. And then when Nico came, Luke Shaw had a bit of a problem on his hands now. So sometimes you see that you need those kind of players around you, and you need to be able to look at your bench and bring those kind of people on, to just... I'm happy with a bench where I'm not bringing Eddie Nketiah on against Bayern Munich. And
do you know what? That was the thing that excited me the most, man. The fact that we didn't have to rely on Nketiah a lot last season, and he's gone. Big up Eddie though, Hale End and all that.
Yeah,
but do you know what? My issue, I potentially don't have an issue with Merino if, as I said, and I've been saying all summer consistently, is we need to go big in two departments. Whether that's the right wing and the striker, or the midfielder and the striker, or the midfielder and the right winger. We need to go big in two out of those three areas. If you're going to tell me you're going to go big in the striker and the right wing area after getting Merino, I don't mind that. But we have to get two level raisers. I don't think he's particularly a level raiser, but he can play a role for sure. But I say that means that we have money to go big in the other two areas now. No, we're only spending what, 20-something million. Is that what they're doing? So I need us to go big. Like we're challenging the best team in the world, Manchester City, with the best player in the world, Rodri. We have to go big in areas, bro.
But you've heard.
Sorry, go on.
Did you hear Arteta's last interview where he said, with the financial restrictions, it's kind of tough now. So he's kind of telling you that I'm not going to spend crazy money this summer. I'm going to be smart with my deals. I'm going to look for bargains. So I think Arsenal right now, I think we're trying to sell people like Smith Rowe, Eddie. We're trying to get big deals for them. It's going to be tough.
It's because your squad's bloated. It's bloated, bro.
It's and the players that making it bloated are average. They're average. That's the issue. Saka is going to play 100 games because those guys are average, or they're going to get injured. So,
but bro, your best players. Your best players are going to play all the games. But the thing is, as a team, we need to be like Man City and maybe blow teams out, beat them 4-5-0. Put your players on the bench. That's the best way to get your players rest.
What do you mean? But Bernardo's still got plenty of rest as well. Like, they always said that you see Oscar Bob in there, and they got to an FA Cup final using Oscar Bob for most of the time. You know what I mean? Look at.
We don't take.
You got Jesus. You got Jesus. If you can say fit, you got an option on the right already. You don't need a right winger if Jesus is around.
Yeah,
how trim he looks right now.
And this is what I'm saying exactly. If Bukayo Saka is resting and we're putting Gabriel Jesus on the right, I'm not worried because Gabriel Jesus, I think, is an amazing player. He's injury prone. I just don't like I rate him. And I don't think he's a 9.
And he misses too many chances.
No, he's not a 9. He's not a 9. He's not a 9. And here's the thing.
Okay, Dio, wait, because I'm about to hold on 1 second. Dio, I hear what you're saying about Jesus, but having Jesus compete with Saka potentially on that right side, do you think that's the player that pushes Saka to be better on that right side? I don't think he is.
No player in the world of football right now pushes Saka to be a better footballer because Saka's in and that right winger. Let's agree. Can we all just unanimously agree? There's only a few men in world football on the right who are dope. Because you know what it is? It's like you got Lamine Yamal, the up and coming talent. You got Salah, then you got Saka, and then bro, it's like it goes down there. It's mid. did? Like, you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
but that's most positions.
And that's the thing, Kunle. The players they're going to buy.
That's all the attacking positions.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question, Miguel. You guys keep saying that somebody to push Saka to be better. Here's the question.
Quickly, before you ask that question, before you ask that question, I just want to deal with this super chat. Big up Benito Sotelo. I hope I pronounced that right with the super chat. It says, "Is Saka better than Yamal?"
Yes.
I asked the question on the stream because you did throw it as a super chat. But I personally think that question is disrespectful at this stage. I don't know if anyone agrees. I don't know.
I agree.
I think it's at the moment, Yamal is 17 years old. Obviously, Saka at Yamal's age was not that good. But at this moment in time, Saka's still better.
Right. Yeah.
But here's what I'm saying. The only type of player that you can get to come and push Saka to be better are players who are literally in and around him, like the level that he's at. And those kind of players are going to be on big wages, don't want to be on the bench, and will not.
I think Nico Williams can push him.
That's someone like Nico Williams, but Nico Williams also
he plays on the left. He plays
on the left as well. And Nico Williams,
he's both sides,
but he's way better on the left. Way better on the left.
But he's also what on big wages. There's a lot of things to consider as well. 250 a week already. He's at 220 at his club. If he comes to Arsenal, he's gonna want a raise.
Ooh, Nico Williams is on 220.
He's on 220 at his club.
Already.
Wait, let me explain it. So Atletico Bilbao don't buy players unless you're from the Basque region or you're someone that's trained in their academy that's out of the Basque. They don't buy there's no transfers, bro. It's all academy, and literally if you're from a certain region, that's it. So that means they got zero. They don't need to spend nothing on transfers. So what they do to keep players interested and staying is they give them big wages because all of them are free. That's the way it works.
No wonder Ika Munayin stayed there for years.
Yeah, bro, that's why they stay.
Because Lorente, all that, man. You have to really tempt a man to come out of their own way, or they have to have their own ambitions for them to leave. Because guess what? See the Basque region where Bilbao is beautiful. Northern Spain is beautiful. You don't want to move from there. Trust me, you look around, you're like, bro, this is the life. I'm on mad wages, mad peas. I've got all this scenery and I've got good nightlife. Madrid's not that far away. If I want to go to the coast, Barcelona's only over there, really, not that too far. You're living. You got, bro. Go look at their gardens and shit. It's
mad. So you see now. But you see now. These are the issues. These are the issues now. So, there are players that can push him, but those players are, hey, bro, how many of them are going to want to leave? So here's the thing: we need to make sure that, and I hear this argument for, we need to push our players to be better. This is the argument Arsenal fans are now making. Let's be honest. I say it again. Last season, a draw with Aston Villa won us the league. I don't think people understand how small that is. It is harder to get 90 points next season and easier for other teams to go from 67 to say 73. But for us to get 90 is going to be harder next season. Those fine margins, this is where resting players, in-game management, swapping like-for-like players or players who are just as good, who thought that, what's his name, would give us our third goal when we brought him in, Reece Nelson against Man U, that goal that he scored. Nobody thought that, but he has it in him. And I'm glad it worked out for him in that game. Listen, hold on here. Kunle, let me finish. Let me just finish this quickly. 30 seconds. I'm glad he had it in him and he worked for that game. But here's the thing. We want a player that is more consistent when they come off the bench like Leandro Trossard. That's the kind of players that I want. Who we know that when he comes off the bench, does something.
You know what?
Trossard off the bench last season. Off the bench last season, look at his stats.
This goes full circle to what we were talking about the age. Leandro Trossard, Jorginho, they might not be the most expensive, flashy signings, but for the money we spent, they were extremely effective. If we continue to fill out the rest of the squad with reliable players, with the young, exciting players we already have, we don't need to go spend ridiculous money in every position.
Look, guys, I'm not saying we have to necessarily go and spend ridiculous money, but look, are you telling me it didn't benefit Man City to have the options of Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, and Riyad Mahrez on that right-hand side? Did that not help them win the treble? Did that not help them win multiple?
It did.
So let's not try and pretend. Let's not try and pretend that having competition for Saka, like competition for him, is not going to benefit him. What we doing?
Kunle, give me a player. Give me a player. Give me a player. Name a player that you want to bring in that is as good as Saka, that can push him to go next level, that will come to Arsenal, stay on the bench and fight for that role. Just mention one player that you think is available right now and is open to that move to come to Arsenal.
Look, it's going to be controversial. It's going to be controversial because people don't like him, but I think working with Arteta are going to be great for him. Leroy Sané.
No.
Leroy Sané. Okay, good. I hear that. Listen. I hear that shout. I hear that shout.
I'm not going to go Arteta again, guys.
Listen.
I hear he's been in and out of form.
Leroy Sané right is bogey, man.
I am not saying Saka is untouchable, people. You're missing the point. I am saying that regardless of who we get in that role, if the person is as good as Saka, they will not want to leave where they are because they are playing first team. They're not going to want to leave where they're playing consistent games to come and be fighting Saka for a position that Arteta prefers Saka in. So what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you need either like a player who is literally very hungry, like a Lamine Yamal who came out of the academy and came and showed skill set. The boy is talented. You need that kind of player who is a wonder genius. Find one, bring him in. Every time you play him in the FA Cup, he looks way better than Saka.
Brother, there's scouts out there for a reason, bro. They should go and find the player, bro. Find the fucking player.
Find the player. Like, I'm just saying, like, the big players.
Yes, Mikey, it's possible to have competition. And Varna, you're taking the
But can I say something? Kunle, you're talking about Man City.
Now we're talking. Bakayoko. Now we're talking.
You're saying Man City had... You're saying Man City had Mahrez, Sané, all these guys. Do you know how they got them? Dope money, financial doping. Is Arsenal going to financially dope?
Bro, allegedly.
Fuck that. They financially doped up. They financially doped up.
Not really. That's disingenuous because in the same breath, Leroy Sané came from, if I believe, Schalke when he was young. Mahrez
and they spent £45 million on him at that time.
Yeah, because Sané was dope. Sané back then was one of the big. If you went on FM, he was a wonder kid. Like if you keep going and all this, the guy was going to cost them an arm and a leg. If you deep it, Mahrez won the league and they got him for what, 30 million. Man United one of them, and he went to City instead. They got them for nice prices because they had no competition for them.
They spent 75 million on Mahrez. 75 million.
75. What do you mean 75 million? What?
It was 65 to 75 million they spent on Mahrez.
I swear it was 70 million for Mahrez, to be fair.
I spent a whole lot of money. Arsenal's not going to spend that.
Temi, you're right. Temi Dyer, I agree with that comment. He didn't use a lot.
60 million is spent on a Premier League winner that was one of their, oh my word, Mahrez was, if not the best player with Vardy there. It was just link-up settings. The man was cold.
Man City even spent $500 million on fullbacks. Alone. So is Arsenal going to do that, Kunle?
Hey, but did I talk about that season?
I'm telling you
I specifically talked about when they had Bernardo Silva, Mahrez, and Foden as an option. Don't try and do that.
They spent money on Bernardo. They spent at least 200 million on Bernardo and Mahrez together. Foden is from the academy.
What do you mean Bernardo?
200.
How much did they spend on Bernardo Silva? How much did they buy Bernardo Silva for?
60 M or something, maybe? 60?
Okay, how much did they buy Mahrez for?
40 Bernardo went for 40 million.
40 million, thank you. 40 million. Can there be 40 is different?
Okay, 40, 70. Okay, let's just say 150. Let's add the
80. That's very different. Let's just say round it up, yeah?
Bro, Arsenal is not going to spend that kind of money.
Stop trying
110 million. 110 million. I'll spend that.
When you're building from a position of strength, you're building a different type of level team. When you're building from a position of winning and you already have the bedrock of a good team, it's a lot easier to add one or two. Right now, we haven't won yet. So right now, we don't even look at our team as like a bunch of world-class players. When you have a team full of world-class players, you don't need to go and spend ridiculous money. So when players are joining you, you are in a position of strength no matter what from beginning.
But it's like me saying, though, if you want to do up that, though, like it's like Rodri and KDB combined cost the same amount what Declan Rice cost.
Yeah, but also the Declan Rice.
You want to pick and choose. You want to pick and choose when that financial is important. You guys can't do that. Well said, Ken.
When KDB was signed, we didn't even know 100% he was going to work out.
We can all play that game, bro.
Number one.
If anyone watched my man for Wolfsburg, everyone knew KDB was working out.
Number two, prices in football have changed. Prices in football have changed. And number 3, we were in a bidding war with Man City, and they bid 80 million. So we had to pay 100.
If you want to go who spent more, by the way, if you want to go see who spent more and sold more in the past 5, 6, 5.5 years, you'll see that Arsenal has spent more, City have spent less. City have sold way more compared to Arsenal. So if you want to do that as well, I'm not saying that I'm here to defend City, but whilst they don't have no one on the panel and you want to run up agendas, I'll come hit you with facts, bro.
No, it's not agendas. No, but hold on. You want to talk about Rice? Bro. Do you want to talk about Grealish? Do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Guardiola? Do you want to talk? Hold on, because Kaz, I can also give you numbers. The point is, Rice is the only player in Arsenal's history that we've ever bought for that kind of price. If you go to City has done, and in this time,
which 100 million players City got? Which one? Only one.
Hold on. And they have a lot of 80, 90. How much was Guardiola?
Tell me all the 80, 90.
Hold on. How much was Guardiola?
I need to hear 3, 80, 90 now. I need all of them.
I'm giving you a list now. I said Grealish, Guardiola. This guy?
We put Grealish to the side. We're talking about the 80, 90 guys, bro.
Guardiola was 75.
75.
So that's not 80, 90. So we're not talking Guardiola.
Hey. Transfer fee plus agent fee, which is 10% to 7.5.
Man, don't do that.
That's the reason why people
I'm on Google right now.
When did we start adding agent fees to?
Hold on. I'm on Google right now.
Yeah.
Guardiola was actually 85. Ruben Neves
that's with add-ons though. If you consider all their packages and shit, base fee. I got base fee in it personally in it.
Yeah, but I'm reporting the fees that the media. I'm reporting the fees that the media reported.
Ruben Neves was like about 60 million.
You're doing what Liverpool. Yeah, exactly. You just went down a massive pecking order. The thing is, you're doing picking and choosing about why your club hasn't done so because so and so spent the amount of money.
No. I'm not picking and choosing. I'm saying
the difference is they got Jack Grealish. They won a 3-peat. Yeah, they done a treble. I'm not being funny. He's earned that money there is being paid off long ago. The thing is, Jack Grealish, as much as Declan Rice or whoever you want to do it, he's a sellable asset. Brother, man's sponsored by Gucci. So as any way you want to see it right now, yeah, that money's already justified because guess what? They've won so much in the last 10 years that they can go and do that. But the thing is, if you're watching it, that's what we said.
That's what we said though. We said because they're in the place of a position of power already. They've been winning, so they can down negotiate players. Players will want to come to them because players want to win. Haaland was 50-something million because Haaland knew he was coming to City to win. The point is when you are buying from a place where you're building your squad to become a squad that becomes champions and wins, you are going to spend a little more than the other people who are already established.
That's what we're saying, bro.
But Chelsea, they spent $1 billion to go sick.
And when Igal said that, and I backed him up, and I said I agree that this is why we will spend a little bit more. You said, we're making it seem like City is, and nobody's saying City is in a position of power where they can down negotiate. Players that want to come to City will either come to City or not because it's City. The difference is for Arsenal, we would have to haggle to get those players.
Not anymore, you don't. You don't.
Well, yeah, but not anymore.
Not anymore. You're in such a nice position because your squad is actually mad attractive.
But we will still pay a little bit more than City.
No, we won't.
Let me ask you a question. If Califiori, if City went for Califiori and we went for Califiori, who do you think would pay more for Califiori? If we both wanted it, we would pay more.
So
we went for Declan Rice. Hold on. They went for Declan Rice. They went for Declan Rice. We went for Declan Rice. Who paid more for Declan Rice? We did.
They only
which bid? Because our bid was accepted. Theirs wasn't, bro. Our bid was accepted. Theirs wasn't. That's the difference. What we doing here now?
You're missing my point.
You're not being fair.
You're missing my point.
Well. Manchester and London, 2 are way different attractive prospects. So if anything, more people want to go to flipping London than they do want to go Manchester. I promise you. For players that are foreign, anyways, they don't look at Manchester. They probably never even heard of it.
I'm not dissing Haaland's goals or whatever. You people in the comments, it's almost like some of you just smoke Alibaba in your brain. Then you come here and just be commenting. Like I don't understand.
You're on the internet.
I know now. I know. No, I'm used to it. I'm giving them back. I did not diss Haaland. I'm saying City paid that amount for Haaland because it is City. Like they're in a place of power already. They're like, hey, you know what? It is what it is. If you want to come play for us, and the player's like, yeah, I want to come, boom, 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 yeah, boom, easy. The player can force his way out of a team to go to City. Players can do the same for Arsenal.
But Real Madrid would have paid more for Haaland. Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying like if Real and the City went for Haaland, I think maybe Haaland would have. I don't think. Yeah, it'll be a tossed up as regards to, because Haaland's father played for I think City as well before in the past, so there would have been that sentimental value and all that, which I think Haaland already wanted to come do that. That's sentimental enough, you know.
Vamos, tell them 5 years into a process, I'd expect Arsenal to be spending big money on the final players they need to win.
Yes, to spend big money, and I
am with that Real Madrid energy.
What did I just say now? I said we will pay more for the players that we need. We have to pay more for them. And now, so what is the?
I'm saying Merino ain't just it. That's what I'm saying.
But the thing is,
Marino is more of a, like I said, he's filling spots. You can't pick on the player who's coming to replace, like who's somebody who's going to be coming off the bench. We've not said he's the main player. Bruno Guimaraes, there's still rumors that we might go for him. So why are we then picking on this one thing and making it sound like, oh, this is Arteta
also, but last
you know.
Last thing as well, you got to remember, I want to point it out because I think it's just facts as well. Over the last 10 years, go look at what Man City sell as well at the same time. They sell academy man for bare please. They get like, the thing is, the way it works at City, bro, top talent at academy, they sell you for good bread, and they make the money. They've already made 100 million off academies and sell-on clauses alone this summer. Yeah, and we're not even accounting how much they won probably from winning the Premier League and how far they went in the competition of the Champions League, yada, yada, yada. But you look at it, it's either someone leaves a legend, someone they sell them for a good price at the right time, or they're from the academy and obviously because they're treated to be great. Look at Lavia, bro. They sold him for 20 million and they had like a 35% sell-on clause when he got sold for 60 million. Do you know how mad that is? The thing is, the way they work things is a machine, bro. They just run. They've sold more. I think they've sold more in the last 10 years than what Arsenal have in the last 20 years. Because you lot, unlike Man United, we sell shit.
No, of course, nobody will ever argue that about how City.
Man City and Chelsea Man City and Chelsea are the two best teams at selling players. But can I just say one thing? I don't think we think the same way as these people that are running the club. As fans, we're looking for statement signings, players, the game changers. They might not necessarily be looking for that. They might just be looking for the some of the players to add to the bench that can be difference makers off the bench and maybe two starters at best.
Yeah, I don't think that would be from what I've been getting told.
I don't think we're looking at three starters. We're looking maybe at two starters.
Oh, is that you? You mean Arsenal?
That's what I'm saying. Two raisers and a rotational player. That's what you're looking
for. Remember, so
Merino is a floor raiser. He's not a level raiser. Merino is a floor raiser.
Wait, Kaz, what did you say?
Timber's basically a fresh new signing, bro.
True.
And I know he's going to be cold. Partey needs to get gone.
Nah, Partey.
But he's not going nowhere. This is his last year.
Is he not?
No, he's not going. He's staying.
We don't know that for a fact, we don't know that for a fact.
No, but at this moment in time,
it doesn't seem like
there's anybody who's coming in for Partey. If we get a last minute person who comes in for him, fair enough.
Last minute, the window is not closing next week.
Hold on, we saw this. It doesn't matter though. We saw with Tomiyasu on the last. Did we know Tomiyasu was coming? Nobody knew. On the last day, about it though. Hold on, no. On the last day by midnight, Tomiyasu's deal was done and he came to Arsenal. We've seen these things happen before. If Saudi comes for Partey 2 days before the window closes and they agree a deal, he probably could leave. Nobody knows. My point is, if you look at the team right now, the way it is, what we have right now, I see floor raisers that they're bringing in. And Merino for me is the floor raiser. The level raisers, I think, should be one on the left wing or the right wing, someone who can play across that wing. I need somebody there. And then I need another level raiser in the midfield and up front. So
you're on the same page as me, Dio. After all that shouting, you're on the same page.
Kunle, what I didn't like that you're doing is you are making the Merino transfer seem like that's our level raiser. No, we all know he's a floor raiser. Let's deep it the way it is.
So we're here. We're together now. So you are just arguing with me to argue now. We're here.
Unfortunately, if you want a level raiser, you're gonna have to be forking out 80 million minimum, probably.
Yeah, we have to. That's what I said. We'll pay more. Remember, I said that just now, Kaz. We will have to pay more.
But the issue is, I find with that's for me. I looked into Arsenal finances. You lot are clear, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not.
We can spend money.
We got the money, basically. We got the bread.
You have got, bro. You've just got new sponsorship deals and all sorts. You are clear of how much. Bro, don't ever be tricked into the fact that
you know what? Hold on. Right now, the Cronkies are also going to give another 100 million, another 100 million personal loan. That the Cronkies
do you know how much you won our Champions League alone just from getting to the quarters and stuff like that, bro? You're good. Anyways,
that was 79 million.
See, if it was my club, this is where Liverpool went wrong, in my opinion. They looked at some man that would benefit the squad. If you really want to compete on City the way you're saying, right after 600 million or 50 million of what Arteta spent in the last 5 years, when you deep it, it's not even that bad when you break it up, 100 odd million per season, whatever. Who gives a shit? You need to be ambitious, bro. And that's just why it's like, okay, you know what? We might have to go spend 85 million on Bruno Gomes. Go and fucking do it. If you got to go do it. Because I'm not being funny. You've got a midfield pivot for years. And a dominant one.
Look, guys,
he could be the difference. He could be the mad difference. That's the difference. He's a level raiser.
Facts. That's the level raiser. No debates. And look, guys, just to kind of wrap, I'm going to go for a few comments and wrap up real quick.
No, who's the level raiser?
Is saying,
Bruno Gomes.
Hey, hold on. Kaz is spot on. What he's saying is spot on, because at the end of the day, there could be that one player that changes the game. Like, of course, if we end up getting a couple of 20, 30, 40 million players, we'll work with it, but let's not pretend as fans that let's not just accept it and just say we're happy with them coming at us with Merino when we should be getting Bruno Guimaraes. Let's not say we're happy with that. We'll accept it at the end of the window, it is what it is. I get it, but let's not pretend that we shouldn't be going for the big guys. What are we saying here? We're in a position of strength now. Let's reach for the stars.
Are we not already linked with these players? We are linked with them now. We're linked with Gyökeres. We're linked with Bruno Guimaraes. We're linked with all these guys. There's talks.
Links.
Listen.
Links FC. I beg you, time player.
We know how this transfer window works every year. We know that until the end of the transfer window, let's be honest, last season, a lot of Arsenal fans did not think that Declan Rice's deal was going to go through. When they heard Man City had come in for the deal, a lot of Arsenal fans, I saw it online, I saw all the comments that all you all more suckers were making. I saw you all. I saw every single thing you all were saying. Oh, yeah, well, no, Man City, he's going to go to Man City. He's going to go to Man City. And then when he came to Arsenal, I don't believe Arsenal pulled this deal off. That's what everybody was saying. The point for me is, if we're linked to players like that, that means that we are serious. We're not just being linked to that. We're also being linked to players who can raise the floor for us. Emil Smith-Rowe out and Merino in. Great stuff. We're
signing him this summer, bro.
So for me, that's the kind of thing that I want. Like, I want a team where if you're looking at your bench, if Gabby Jesus is the one coming off for Bukayo Saka, I'm happy for that. If I'm getting a Kai Havertz coming for Gyökeres, yes.
All right. This is what I'm saying. Guys, real quick, we're going to wrap up the show, but Dio, I'm convinced you work for Arsenal, because this PR that you're doing here is absolutely frustrating. We went from being on the same page 5 minutes ago to you starting with all this again.
We're on the same page. What I'm saying is that I don't judge.
Let's not just settle when we can go big. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not settling. You're missing my point again. I'm saying I want a bench where, if you look at my bench, right, you should be afraid of my bench. That's all I'm saying. If you look at my bench, I want you to be afraid of the bench, not to even talk of the first 11. That's all I'm asking for. So if Merino is a bench player and I've seen what he can do, I'm okay with Merino being the bench player, is what I am saying. There's a big difference. I'm not
okay, fair then. That's fine.
That's all I'm saying. But I'm not going to come here and pretend and say, oh, this Merino signing is the major signing Arsenal is doing. I'm not going to start that propaganda and that rhetoric, because we know that's not what it is.
If I hear you on that train, I go come for you for
exactly. I have to wait till the end of the season.
Good. But guys, thanks very much everyone for joining us today. Smash the like button if you haven't already, or if you're watching this on the replay. Big up Kaz from Never a Foul with the influx of people in the comment section. That was amazing, man. Big up for that. Big up Kanebi each and every time. Egal talks football each and every time. Dio in the building. It was kind of like an Arsenal takeover show. Bemi was here at the start, but obviously there's a few issues with
We're talking about Manchester United earlier on, but Kaz came in late though.
Yeah, but he made up for his lateness, man, definitely. So
well, everyone
if
else
you
is late
haven't-
for my shit, yeah. Everyone else, yeah. But when I'm late, it's a problem, innit? You know what? Pick
If
on the
you
white guy,
haven't,
innit?
no, bro, it's not a problem for me, man. You're my guy. Yeah, I never call him out.
Pick on the Oyinbo, innit? I know you, man.
Meanwhile, Kaz, meanwhile, we were talking about Man
You know
U.
you're not a white boy.
Kaz,
You're
look
not a
at
white
this.
boy.
Kaz, look at this. We were talking.
This is a disguise.
Don't get
Kaz,
deceived.
Kaz, earlier, Kaz, we were talking about Manchester United, and I was the only one defending your team. I was the only one defending Manchester United.
Wait, hold on.
Why are you lying, Dio? Hey, go watch it back, because I had Eric.
The guy was like, "What is this?"
Defending Man United. What? Do you want some dick? Like, what is it? I don't care.
Oh my God!
Big up my people. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe.
Don't do
Big
that.
up everyone. Have a great evening. We'll catch you guys soon. Peace.
And here I was.